For me, there's a simple rule in politics. Never, ever be surprised by what happens in politics.
The face of truth is open. The eyes of truth are bright. The lips of truth are ever closed. The head of truth is upright. The breast of truth stands forward. The gaze of truth is straight. Truth has neither fear nor doubt. Truth has patience to wait. The words of truth are touching. The voice of truth is deep. The law of truth is simple. All you sow, you reap. The soul of truth is flaming. The heart of truth is warm. The mind of truth is clear and firm through rain and storm. Facts are only its shadow. Truth stands above all sin. Great be the battle of life. Truth in the end shall win. The image of truth is the cross. Wisdom's message is its rod. The sign of truth is Christ, and the soul of truth is God. Life of truth is eternal. Immortal is its past. Power of truth shall endure. Truth shall hold to the last.
I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. It's a depression. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. We know the air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. We sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. They're crazy. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living room. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
What are the implications for you consumers in St. Lucia of President Trump once he gets into office on January 20th, imposing tariffs on certain goods entering the U.S. from Canada as well as Mexico? Well, we'll discuss that during the course of the broadcast. Also on our program this afternoon, some free advice we have for the press secretary to the Prime Minister, and we'll be going back in time, take you back to a period when there was an infamous exchange between a talk show host and a politician. Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show, and that is NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. The broadcast is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. In a bit, your calls at 452-2979, 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages 716-2026, and Amanda will be going through some of your comments in the chat room as we wish you an enjoyable and happy Wednesday. So we continue to hear of plans, not threats, plans by the incoming President of the United States to sign an executive order imposing 25% tariff on all products coming into the United States from Mexico and Canada, and additional tariff on China. Now, folks, take into consideration that more than 83% of exports from Mexico went to the U.S. in 2023. And in the case of Canada, that figure is 75%. Now, for you in St. Lucia, importing goods from those countries, and maybe not directly, not importing it directly from Canada or Mexico or China, but you're importing those same items out of the United States so that you can sell to consumers in St. Lucia. This certainly will come at a higher cost, and no doubt you have to pass that cost on to consumers in St. Lucia. And in the case of the U.S., importers of items from Canada, Mexico, and China, on which those tariffs will be imposed, that certainly will come at a cost to consumers in the United States. So that is the kind of things that the authorities in St. Lucia would have to take into consideration. The likes of the St. Lucia Chamber of Commerce, the Ministry of Commerce, and Consumer Affairs. And if we still have a Consumers Association, they ought to take this into consideration. And if, as you as well, as a consumer, rest assured, if Donald Trump carries out that threat, we will be experiencing an increase in the cost of certain items that will be coming from the United States, particularly if those items are coming from China, Canada, and Mexico. The principal of the UE Five Islands campus, which is based in Antigua, has been speaking about this. He is Professor Justin Robinson, putting Antiguans on notice, but it also applies to us in St. Lucia and the rest of the world.
We have supply chains that bring goods into Antigua that are linked to goods originating in China, Mexico, Canada, which pass through the US. So once some percentage of that tariff increase is passed on, then we would see those price increases. And I think the bigger threat, well, one of the bigger threats long term is if this then escalates into global trade war, which disrupts supply chains and has a general inflationary impact, we are then back to the problem that we've spent 2-3 years solving post-COVID of trying to get inflation down.
An economist, and he is the principal at the UE Five Islands campus, which is based in Antigua. He is Professor Justin Robinson. We do not have much time in St. Lucia to prepare for what seems like the inevitable. If it comes to pass, how can the government of St. Lucia cushion the effects of those price hikes? Because it seems that it will happen. How this, imagine, can be avoided is if there is some kind of agreement between or among Canada, Mexico, and the United States, and also China, because this is a campaign promise. And I think this time around, a President Trump administration will do absolutely everything to ensure that it fulfills its campaign promises. That will include getting rid of millions of people who are illegal immigrants in the United States, and also imposing tariffs on goods coming from China, Mexico, and also Canada. Let us not rest on our laurels and at the last moment try to put things in place to deal with this particular challenge. On the home front, more directly, politics is not easy. So says a former press secretary to Prime Minister Dr. Kenny Anthony. I'm referring there to Jadia Japierre, who is now an attorney. And we'll play you yet another contribution, part of a contribution that she made over the weekend at the Conference of Delegates of the Nevis Reformation Party, because a lot of people want to enter into politics. But according to her, and she knows, it is a lot of hard work. You have to be committed to this particular task. And when you get into office, it is even harder. If you're an MP, simple MP, and if added to that, quite apart from being an elected member of parliament, you are a government minister, you're part of the cabinet. And a lot of government ministers in St. Lucia are learning this the hard way. It's a harsh reality. People are not electing you into office so that you can be prominent, powerful, holding a key position or portfolios in the government. It is foremost to make a positive difference in their lives as far as health care is concerned, jobs, their security, and controlling inflation, the high cost of goods at the supermarket. And people don't want to hear excuses like those things happen and we have a pandemic of crime in the Caribbean. You know that? You know the problem? You have identified the problem? Then work towards addressing the problem, because you are into office for over 3 years now, and very soon you will be seeking another mandate. And if you can't get it done, if you can't give any indication right now that you are up to the task, why re-elect you? How much of a difference will that make if you are given another 5-year mandate? It's a case that if you can't do your job, you really can't do it. You're not equipped for the task at hand. Send you back to the drawing board. Learn a thing or two on the sidelines. Hone your skills as one who can effectively deal with the problems of your constituents or the country. And possibly next time around, you'll be given another opportunity, as is often the case. Analogous to sports, cricket, football. You're not informed? Go out there, work on whatever shortcomings that you have, and maybe you will be, in the case of cricket, be back on the team, part of the 11, and then you'll be able to prove yourself. You cannot be given a task, cannot be given a responsibility, and you continue to make reference to the previous team that was representing a club or representing a country. Focus on what is before you. Focus on the challenges. Focus on winning matches and winning tournaments and winning competitions. So let us listen to Jadia Japierre when she says that politics is not easy.
Politics is not easy. Politics is not glamorous. Politics is not about dressing up and holding a microphone and giving a beautiful speech. You know why? The people who make the difference in the election, they are not in this room. The people who will decide whether you form the next government or not, they are not sitting before me today. How do we reach these people? You need to ensure that you have a proper assessment of each parish. You need to determine as a party whether your present representatives and caretaker candidates are pulling their weight and connecting with the people in the constituency. You need to know who your supporters are, because you must do everything to keep them in the fold. And you must know who supports the other side, because as much as possible, you must reach out to neutralize them or bring them across to support your party. Brothers and sisters, you must know who the new voters are. That is the only way you can position yourself to make the NRP their party of choice. The voters list is like a Bible for a political party. You keep that close. Ask questions about the names. Go to the houses to identify the voters. Ensure you know their nicknames, where they work. If they have 2 homes, you need to know where they are likely to be on election day, because it is your job to identify them and pull them out to vote. And I say directly to the candidates, It is not just the job of the constituency chairman and the constituency group to do the work. It is your job too. You need to go to the homes. You must walk the streets. You must be the example that they follow. Put on your campaign shoes and lead your team, because the mobilization of your constituency is your responsibility.
J.D. Japierre, the guest speaker at the Conference of Delegates of the Nevis Reformation Party, and this was held on Sunday. According to her, politics is not easy, and she focused on the task towards being elected into, but as I said earlier on, it is even more arduous, it is even more to slate when you have to deliver. Here is concerned. Understand that there is a protest action taking place right now as we speak outside the OKE hospital. We'll try to see if we can provide you with some coverage during the course of our program. Let me hear from you right now at 452-2979, 452-2979. Your WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026, 716-2026. And in a moment, we'll be going through some of your comments in the chat room. We have our first call line. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You are on the air.
Good day, team.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to you, caller.
So, you spoke about Trump and the tariff. Let me ask you, what do you think Trump can do that will affect us in any way that this Labour Party have not done worse? I am concerned, but believe me, nothing Trump can do will be new to me.
That's a low call, and that's a low blow. I did not really see that one coming.
Well, believe me, it is the reality. Tim, yesterday I was in Viewfort, so I said, let me go to that place where I hardly buy food, but I'm really hungry. That's where I usually go. A place close to the St. Jude's area. And I had my daughter with me. And the moment we appear, we approach the area, she was like, what's that big thing? So I said, that's the new St. Jude's I've always been talking about, of course. So she said, that's it. But that's like what I'm seeing on TV in the bigger countries. And I was like, yes. So the thing you see that's what they left it for. And a 15-year-old girl cannot believe that we abandoned that building to go into a tin roof building, claiming that it is better for us. At the same time, I had a conversation with two gentlemen, and they were telling me how, giving me certain ideas about business, and then if you want to sell, the best place to go is Castries. And then I was telling them, but why Castries? Why can't we have the same in Viewfort? And the topic came up, Tim, that look, we had the typical example just by us, St. Jude's. With so much that was taking place, there's so much workers. Things was going nicely, Tim, with money was circulating because people was working. Right now what they have there is a few Indians on the job. You understand? Working with the same Renault, who, Tim, from the time I knew myself as a little boy, I knew a mason was getting 150 a day. I am 45 today, and you want to give a mason 120 or so, and then you want him to work for you, and then you claiming that St. Lucians don't want to work. A mason will come and do masonry work for you, Tim, for 120. When I tell you donkey years ago, they were working for 150. We're in 2024, and you still want that same mason to work for you for 120, Tim? You think you'll get people to work for you? So we had that conversation on all of that. And I'm saying, but that is one of the causes. We had DSH, and the new government promised to go over the deal and to do whatever. And up to a day like today, they never went over the agreement, Team. Never renewed the license for the guys to continue operating. And the thing is dead now, bush alone, and they now trying to sell whatever little things they have there to get out. You understand? All of that we had workers there that lost their jobs. We had Ojo's team where the government was paying a certain portion of the salary for local workers for a period of 2 years or so. Okay, you came in, you understand, stop that, cause Ojo to fold. For the first time in my lifetime in the South, I used to see busloads of people coming from Castries to come and work in Viewfort, something I have never seen before. Maybe you'd have 1 or 2 persons who had a little contract coming from Castries to go and work in Viewfort, but not workers in that level team coming to work in Viewfort. So many. For the first time, that fold. Okay, you stop the HIA project, you lied to the people, telling them that will cost taxpayers a lot of money, when the only money that was paying for the airport was from travelers, people who can afford, that was paying the airport. You understand? You stop, now you have something like a big box standing up there. What exactly is that for? I don't even know. You understand me? So many workers will lost their jobs, team. You had the dock, the Viewfort dock, okay, that folded underneath Kenny and Tony. The Viewfort dock team, I don't know if you ever been there, but they can hold 100 times more containers than the Castries Wharf. You can have all the containers you have that team on single height. In Castries, you have to put them 4, 5 on top of the other. You do not have to do that in Viewfort. You kill that, and everything is going back up to.
You have just
student management. You telling me anything that Trump can do right now can be worse than what you've done to the South? Tim, well, if you want, come to the South, spend at least a week there, and then you'll feel what the South feel. The sad thing about it, a lot of them are just keeping quiet, and they're waiting for people like me to call every day and to listen and say, oh, that's a country you're making. But they themselves refuse to call and lend their voice to what's happening today. You understand me? This is one of the things that pisses me off. I sometimes I just don't want to call because I'm tired of it. You understand? Everybody hiding, refusing to speak, and they're waiting on one set to speak for them. You understand? So the people like Philip J. Pierre will always tell you the people satisfied with what's happening because they're not complaining. And he's right. Because everybody keeping quiet. St. Lucia have never been in a bad place like that. Never. You understand me? And we quiet about it. Have a good day, Tim.
You too, sir. Thank you so much. So in the words of a particular individual, there isn't a hue and cry in St. Lucia as far as the lack of development in the south of the island that would have a positive impact on residents there. I think we can take in some of what is happening right now in terms of protest action outside the OKEU hospital. Of course, the obvious thing is the health sector is in shambles in St. Lucia with so many doctors having resigned over the last few weeks, and concerns about the financing of health in St. Lucia, the closure of a number of the island's wellness centers, among other issues impacting health, the provision of health on the island. Let's take in some of the action outside the OKE hospital. The quality is not what we expected, but from time to time what we'll do is to try to see if we can provide you with some of the action outside of the OKE hospital, where we see that there's a group of people who are protesting outside the island's main health institution. We continue with your calls at 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. Amanda, good afternoon to you. What is happening in the chat room?
Good afternoon, Timothy. Good afternoon, NewsSpinners. In the chat room, someone says, Team, that's not going to happen. Remember when he was in office the last time, he said the same crap and he had to backtrack when they turned the tariff on us. The comments to all those St. Lucians that wanted Trump for president, I say they are sick and don't like their family or friends, nor themselves living in the USA. Another comment, Tim, there's a protest outside the Owen Killing You hospital as we speak. SLP must go, Musa must go. Someone replied to this saying the next demonstration should be outside Flo and Wasco offices. Another comment, Lucians, you are getting serious about your health and country. Now keep up the pressure on the SLP, keep up the movement. Another contribution, don't we have our own spokesperson in St. Lucia to deliver this vital information in St. Lucia? We have to constantly get this important information from outside. We really have fallen. Another comment for the people who said that we should focus on St. Lucia politics and what's happening here in St. Lucia, and that we were too focused on the general election in the United States, which is none of our business. Well, here you go, because whatever happens in any country may not affect St. Lucia directly, but it will affect St. Lucians indirectly.
Okay, I'm trying to establish contact with somebody. I think we're trying to get into contact with Mr. Guy Joseph, participating in that protest march. Let's see if he's on the line. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Hi, good afternoon to Mr. Guy Joseph. I see that you're participating in a protest action there outside the OKEU hospital. What is that all about?
It is part of our drive to create awareness of the areas where St. Lucia is being seriously impacted in a negative way by the government. So we were at the CIP office earlier in the week, and today we are outside the grounds of the OKEU hospital. So it's a small group of persons, about 30 persons or more, because we want St. Lucians to be aware that the orange protest is on, that we are calling awareness to St. Lucians and the quality of healthcare and the resignation of so many doctors at the OKEU hospital, the lack of facilities and basic medication at the hospital is of major concern. We are paying 2.5% levy towards health, and it appears that this money is not being utilized for healthcare in St. Lucia. So we are appealing to St. Lucians through the protest just to be aware that the United Workers' Party and other concerned St. Lucians, because we are not dressed in yellow, team, we are dressed primarily in orange, which is the color of protest, and that is why we are out there bringing our message to St. Lucia that we are concerned about the quality of healthcare. We stand in solidarity with the nurses and the doctors of the hospital in terms of what they are doing.
What gives you the impression that anything positive will come out of the exercise?
Can you repeat your question?
Yes. What gives you the impression that anything positive will come out of whatever you are doing at this point in time?
Tim, it's not a matter of whether anything comes out of it. We don't have the levers of control. It is for the government. Our hope is that the government will recognize what is happening and that people in St. Lucia are truly disgruntled and dissatisfied with the quality of our healthcare. We have seen what the Medical and Dental Association wrote. I think the board managing the OKEU is one of the biggest problems at the healthcare institution. And it is clearly evident in the letter that was written. The minister himself has proven to be a failure. So we expect that the government would allow good sense to prevail and do not allow this to escalate into something that becomes much bigger than it is today. And so we are doing it in a very peaceful, in a docile manner, in a manner where we are just saying to the government, we are not pleased with what you are doing. We think you can do better. Our hospital should never be out of thread to sew up a surgery. should never be out of Panadol and ibuprofen when these things are readily available in any pharmacy in St. Lucia. Tim, that is totally unacceptable that the government would not address these basic issues. And it is a call to action for all St. Lucians. And I've heard you, Tim, and on your program, people speak all the time. I am not going to wait for a family member of mine again to die in the hospital without getting the timely intervention that is required for me to act. I don't think that St. Lucians should wait for their loved ones to be in a situation where they cannot be brought back and then to begin to act. So our protest will continue. Those who want to join us will join us. Those who don't want to, it's up to them. But it is the responsibility of the opposition to challenge what the government is doing and what the government is failing to do for the people of St. Lucia.
I remember, Mr. Joseph, last week you said that you're getting some kind of indication that general elections are around the corner. Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre at the DLP conference in Dominica earlier this month said that elections will be called very soon in St. Lucia. No sooner than that, later he said that general elections will not be called very soon on the island. What say to this? Do you expect general elections will be called at least by next year, although it is constitutionally due in 2026?
I believe the Labour Party will call elections next year, to the latter part of next year. So the behavior of the Labour Party is clearly indicating that something is about to happen. Now, as to whether the government, we know that the Prime Minister calls elections when he wants. But the Prime Minister is in the habit of speaking on both sides of his mouth, which is, in Dominica he says one thing, in St. Lucia he says something else. So maybe he's up to his old tricks and trying to throw people off target. But I'm not concerned. Elections must be called. And elections is no more than a year and 6 months away. So whether the Prime Minister decides to go to the full term, the better part of their term is behind them, Tim. They have not performed for the last week. We are in the 4th year, Tim. So when he calls elections next year, he'll be calling election in the 5th year, So anytime the Prime Minister has the right and he has the majority, why he didn't put a fixed date for election? When UWP was there, they felt that there should be a fixed date. Why didn't he say, okay, I'm going to use the 2/3 majority that I have in the parliament to call election? I know elections is due in a year and 6 months. So we have endured 3.5 years of hardship, of misery, of poor health care, of escalating crime, of high food prices. Tim, we will endure another year and a half if that is what it takes for us to be able to bring liberation and for St. Lucians to free themselves from this oppressive government. Because it is very sad that we are paying 2.5% on everything we do in this country. We are paying 2.5% on it, and we are not seeing the requisite benefit to our family or anybody that pertains to us. Because the hospital is in the worst situation it has ever been, Tim. And I'm appealing to St. Lucians, don't come and protest for UWP. Don't come and protest for Labour. Protest for your right as a citizen. Healthcare, basic healthcare is a right. And the government has been promising universal healthcare. Tim, how many persons have called you and told you that even the advertisement that people who are 80 years and over will get free healthcare, that this is not in place even as we speak? This is not in place. I went to a funeral last week Friday. The lady was over 80. And the family was asked to pay a bill of over $4,000. in order to get the burial certificate, the death certificate, in order to be able to bury their loved one. So the government is lying to the people about basic things that all of us know is not available and not happening. And team, I'm appealing to St. Lucians. You don't need to wait for UWP. You don't need to wait for us to organize a protest. If you are dissatisfied with something somewhere, and team, we have a series of small demonstrations that will be taking place in different locations as people see fit. There are people who are not affiliated to UWP who are planning their protest. And it is just a peaceful demonstration, most times a silent demonstration, just to say we are not pleased with what you are doing, and the government has enough time to correct these situations if they are truly and genuinely concerned about the well-being of the people of the country.
Mr. Guy Joseph, thank you so much for speaking with us on NewsSpin.
You're welcome, Steve.
You just heard there from the first deputy political leader of the opposition, UWP, Mr. Guy Joseph, speaking outside of the OKEU hospital, and where a protest action is taking place right now. Let's continue with some of the comments in the chat room. Amanda.
Someone says, Tim, even though Trump is president, you think Americans will play with him? Another comment, one of the alternatives that is being used is to ship direct from China or through the UK and to the Caribbean to avoid the US tariffs. The shipping cost is reduced significantly as the route is a lot shorter. Another comment, so these people sitting before you are not voters that can decide an election with their votes. Another comment, neutralize them. How about speaking the truth and being honest? Another comment, what she says, there it goes for all political parties. Another comment, this is a government, 3 years of continuous government season. Someone says, bravo caller for encouraging your daughter's critical thinking instead of showing her how to swallow momo pills. Someone says, true caller, but don't stop speaking for those who decided to conveniently remain silent. Speak up for us, for the elderly, for the children coming up, for those who fear victimization, and many others. Speak up, caller. Another comment, imagine St. Vincent doing better than us in St. Lucia, and PJP bring the Prime Minister of St. Vincent to St. Lucia. Shame on y'all. Another comment, bravo to all St. Lucians standing against injustices. Someone says, are they seriously out of Panadol? Wow. Another comment, we have universal healthcare, but you have to go and find it out in the universe. And in the chat room, someone says, yet the SLP hacks are screaming about vaccine money when we currently don't have bed sheets at the hospital while paying extra tax for health. And that's it.
Thank you so much, Amanda, for that update. We have some more updates coming up during the course of our program. That's between now and 2 o'clock this afternoon. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. The question is, are we scheduled to have elections in St. Lucia very soon or not? We'll be hearing from the one individual constitutionally who has the right to set the date for the next poll. This is the most monitored talk show in the world.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Lazarus's Funeral Home is here for you. Lazarus's Private Cemetery offers a peaceful resting place for your loved ones. With tranquil settings, visitation, and reflection, we believe in the compassionate care of all our departed loved ones. Lazarus's Private Cemetery, let us help you create a final resting place. Make it special. Make it Lazarus's Funeral Home, your friend in a time of need. Payment plans are available for tunes. Call us in Vidbute at 452-7491 or in New Dock Road, VA4, 454-6555.
Lucilex Customer Service Office in Castries is now opened for business, but we've moved. We're now located on Daisy Avenue in Sanssouci on the ground floor of the new Carilac building. We're open weekdays from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Check out our online options first. But if you do need to come in to see us, we'll be pleased to serve you with new connections, bill queries, payments, and other service requests. Lucilex Sanssouci Office, ground floor of the Carilac building. New location, same great service.
Ho, ho, ho! KFC is bringing the magic with 12 days of Christmas. Starting November 18th, anytime you buy a festive feast at KFC, you can enter to win amazing prizes. Just write your name and number on your receipt and drop it in the entry box. From December 9th to 20th, we're giving away a NutriBullet, Apple Watch, iPhone 15, and more. And on December 20th, the grand prize, an all-expense-paid trip to Jamaica with tickets to see Vibes Cartel at the Freedom Street concert. Don't miss the holiday kickoff on November 22nd at Rodney Bay KFC from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. KFC, finger-licking good.
Okay, Max, if I'm going to steal Christmas this year, I'll need a smart TV to keep an eye on the who's, a smartphone to call for backup, cash, and a stove to bake this ham. Seriously, I can get all this for free if I sign up for Flow.
We're Christmasing with thousands of gifts even the Grinch would love. Sign up for a postpaid mobile bundle or high-speed broadband and win big every week. Visit discoverflow.co now.
It is well known by all solution professional tradesmen and even homeowners that European-made tools are the best. Well, guess what? Europa Hardware is having a massive promotion on the Metabo brand of power tools. From impact drills to angle grinders, jigsaws to rotary hammers, sanders and hot air guns. All at unbeatable, jaw-dropping prices. Don't let your tools let you down. Come to Europa and stay standing with a proud in-the-hand tool from Metabo. Call us at 452-0763 or visit us in Massat Grosile. Europa, we service what we sell.
La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence is revolutionizing healthcare right here in St. Lucia. No longer do you have to travel abroad for high-quality head-to-toe MRI images. Our center features the latest 1.5 Tesla MRI technology from General Electric. Operated by GE Healthcare certified technologists, our radiation-free scans provide unparalleled clarity. Our board-certified specialist radiologists ensure more accurate diagnoses. Don't take our word for it. We continue to serve many satisfied patients. And the best part? Your MRI report arrives within 24 hours, and we can send images directly to your doctor anywhere in the world. Say goodbye to long wait times and unnecessary travel expenses. Trust the Caribbean's leading medical imaging service located in Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence today and take the first step towards a healthier tomorrow.
Big news. M&C Home Depot and Sunbelt are hiring now, and we want you to join our team. That's right. We're looking for passionate, driven people for many rewarding positions, from customer service and sales to warehouse roles and beyond. Whether you're starting your career or ready for a new challenge, we've got a spot for you. Don't miss out. Apply today. Drop off your CV at any of our locations or visit our website at www.mnchomedepot.com.
At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, we offer high-quality products from Martinique, and our ready mix is made with casting sand, not regular pumice. Compared to regular pumice, casting sand saves you in your cement use. At Caribbean Pastouche Limited, our materials come from porcelain stones, which is used as an additive in creating cement. Caribbean Pastouche Limited is located in Bexon, behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open Monday to Saturday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
I come to tell you that St. Lucia will have a general election very soon.
I can assure you there are going to be no elections in St. Lucia anytime soon.
I come to tell you that St. Lucia will have a general election very soon.
I can assure you there are going to be no elections in St. Lucia anytime soon.
Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre, I am confused. In Dominica, he says there'll be an election in St. Lucia very soon. In St. Lucia, at a pre-cabinet press briefing, it says, I can assure you, there will not be any general election very soon. Somebody's attempting to call the broadcast. We'll hear from him in just a moment. But first, this infamous, or if you want to call it famous, exchange between a talk show host and a politician. I think this occurred just before the 2016 general election.
Can I answer the caller?
1 minute, please.
Because I know that 2 minutes have passed and you have not given me a chance to make my point.
Because it's my show.
No, but I am on your show. I'm a guest here, and 2 minutes have passed. I would like to make my point.
Stop that. You're reminding me of the
Allow me to make my point.
You do not do that.
You have to respect your guest. Allow me to make my point.
No, I will not.
Well, let's see about that.
The caller.
Well, the caller asked me a question.
You're wasting time.
You will give me time to make my point.
No, I will not.
Well, let's see about that.
The caller?
Yes.
I don't think this Sarah has anything to say to you, okay? I'm surprised that she would do that. She's spoiling the show, okay?
She asked me a question.
What I was saying
like to
obviously is of no interest to her that a man was stabbed so many times in his veranda and the case is forgotten. That we've had about 3 other young people, one tied to a tree in Cap and Sarah, another one over a precipice. But Sarah don't want to talk about that. Sarah doesn't want to talk about that.
Rick, with all due respect, I would like to make my point. It's either you end the show or you allow me to make my point.
Well, I will end the show.
Well, end it.
Thank you
because
very much.
I need to make my point. It's very important.
Good night.
Good. Well, you end the show because I was talking about the common good.
Sure.
That fundamental human rights are rights that are inherent because of the dignity of people.
You remember that exchange between Mrs. Sarah Flood Bobra and Rick Wayne? Rick Wayne is on the line. Good afternoon to you, sir. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. You are on the air.
Hi, Jim.
Good afternoon to you, Rick.
Yesterday.
You remember that exchange? I just played it. A famous exchange between yourself and Sarah Flood Bobra. You remember that one?
Oh, you just played that?
I just played it.
Oh, I missed that.
Okay, so I'll play it again just for your sake. Hold on the line. Hold on the line.
Do a little research there.
Yeah, hold on the line. So we'll play it again. Just for your sake.
Okay.
All right, hold on.
Can I answer the caller?
1 minute, please.
Because I know that 2 minutes have passed and you have not given me a chance to make my point.
Because it's my show.
No, but I am on your show. I'm a guest here, and 2 minutes have passed. I would like to make my point.
Stop that. You're reminding me of the
Allow me to make my point.
You do not do that. I was
you have to respect your guest. Allow me to make my point.
No, I will not.
Well, let's see about that.
The caller.
Well, the caller asked me a question.
You're wasting time.
You will give me time to make my point.
No, I will not.
Well, let's see about that.
The caller?
Yes.
I don't think this Sarah has anything to say to you, okay? I'm surprised that she would do that. She's spoiling the show. Okay.
She asked me a question.
What I was saying
obviously
is of no interest to her that a man was stabbed so many times in his veranda and the case is forgotten. That we've had about 3 other young people, one tied to a tree in Cap and Sarah, another one over a precipice. But Sarah don't want to talk about that. Sarah doesn't want to talk about that.
Rick, with all due respect, I would like to make my point. It's either you end the show or you allow me to make my point.
Well, I will end the show.
Well, end it. Because I need to make my point. It's very important.
Good night.
Good. Well, you end the show because I was talking about the common good.
Sure.
That fundamental human rights are rights that are inherent because of the dignity of people.
Remember that famous exchange, Rick?
Good-looking guy. Huh?
No, I'm looking at the good-looking lady.
Right there. But you know, but that's my girl. That's my girl.
Yeah.
Sarah has the gonads, and she's always stood up for what she believed. We still are good friends despite that. It's nice to have those things for history. And when I'm gone, you can play them. And you can see all kinds of things about what we should have done as a consequence of that. So keep those things handy. It's nice to know you have them.
What year was that, Rick? It would have.
Oh God!
It would have to be before the 2016 general election.
Yeah, that's before, I think.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you know, if we must go on that, the problems I was talking about there still exist now, worse than ever.
Yeah.
That is the point of that. That's what it reminds me of. Not Sarah standing her ground. And Sarah is consistent, by the way. The ground she was standing on, the church ground or whatever ground it was. but that hasn't happened on any other show, Tim. And I wish once in a while one of your guests you would do that to them, so you can learn something.
I also had a very fiery exchange with Mrs. Flood on Newsmaker Live. I don't think you can remember that, but it was very fiery as well.
But
yeah.
She's good. Sarah's good. We need more of Sarah. And she's the woman. I remember Sarah standing up against the whole parliament at the time of the abortion bill. Remember the famous
I remember.
amendment?
Yeah.
Anyway, let me go down to this, Tim. Yesterday, and you know, we really must go back to those clips and do a little analysis. I was thinking how, again, sad it is for St. Lucia. That you just had a thing come out there with, what's his name? What's the guy's name?
Who's that? Guy Joseph?
The guy is going up against, supposed to be going UWP guy.
Roche?
Chico.
Oh, Chico. Okay. Peter Chico.
I have my views on that. And I think the lawyer who represented the guy, you know, the media might have gone to him and get a couple answers. Nobody does that. So you had to give Chico an hour yesterday to read his whole thing there. And I don't think anybody learned anything from that. And of course, Facebook he's all over Facebook being ridiculed and so on and so on and so on. What we don't understand is that today, Joe Blow is being ridiculed with no analysis. Tomorrow, it's your mother. And so on and so on. There ought to be some kind of analysis on that case, whether Chico should have brought that case in the first place, whether his lawyer let him down in the second place, but set those things down so the public. I was doing some research yesterday and found that the Bar Association is expected to keep the populace informed about laws that are about to be passed, bad laws, good laws. What? Keep the public educated, not them, boy. I was told once that the Bar Association exists only for the edification of lawyers. So that's what we're living with. And let me get to my point before you cut me off. Yesterday, we had Jadia talking, was that Antigua?
In Nevis.
And she was complaining about how incumbent parties have this advantage because they can get money from anywhere, whereas the opposition generally cannot.
Yeah.
And, you know, on reflection, I'm thinking another con. Because that is, Jadia is a very smart, intelligent person. And I told you yesterday, I have a lot of respect for her. But when you listen to what went on there, you know, you don't really get the message you should be getting. And what you should be getting out of that is how the politicians continue to con us, politicians and lawyers, because they all are saying one thing now. Because yesterday, in that clip, we could have heard Jadia talking about campaign finance reform, couldn't we?
Yes. And actually, the clip was played on Monday of this week, and I did make reference. Maybe you missed it. I made reference to campaign finance reform, and the fact that the discussion is taking place or has taken place before in Jamaica, but not St. Lucia. Are you there, Rick?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, we should have much more talking about that, especially what you call the election season. You would expect a couple of lawyers, a couple of concerned citizens, what's it with the brother Harris, all these people, a lawyer or two, talking about campaign finance reform in the same breath that we should also be calling for fixed dates. Because they have talked about it for years, but nobody does it because it gives the government an advantage over the opposition, whether it's a red government or a yellow government. It gives them the advantage. And the victims always are the people. You know, it's so sad. The victims, whether it's yellow in office or red in office, remain the same. The people take it in the butt no matter what, how stupid we are. I'm not even sure we deserve any kind of sympathy, empathy, or even serious analysis because we like it so. We continue to spit in our faces. I could have said something nastier than spit. So we get no talk about campaign finance reform. We get no talk going about fixed election dates. I also talk a lot about there is no justice in the country to speak of because the majority of people in this country are poor people. And unless you're well off, Tim, justice is not available to you. So don't fool yourself. If you don't have money, you're the equal of a frog in St. Lucia. You gotta have money. Justice is not free, and justice is not fair, and justice is not accessible to everyone. Justice is only accessible to people with a social conscience plus a few dollars. Not just a social conscience, plus a few dollars. Alan Chasney, and it just happens to be him because he's the one checking our system. He's the one always shouting about the Constitution, and I tell him he's wasting his breath because the Constitution is a waste of time. It's not accessible to anybody. We don't have money to stand up against the government on any constitutional matter. I keep saying all those things. But at least he is trying to do something about it. Sometime last year, he sought leave, and even that again, sought leave to put a matter before a judicial inquiry. Eh? You have to seek leave, special leave. All right. Because you want to bring... Now, can you think of the average guy there who has a serious problem with the government and whatnot, who thinks he's been badly treated, attempting to put the government before a judicial inquiry? Can you even imagine that?
I couldn't imagine that, but it will be a waste of time because he does not have the finances.
No. I'm pointing out to you is
yes, you can only imagine it. You can only imagine it.
No, what I'm saying is more than that, Tim. I'm saying he knows so well.
Mm-hmm.
He knows so well that's a waste of time. He won't even imagine himself doing that. He can't even imagine himself doing it. That's how bad it is.
Now,
so,
what comes, before I continue, Rick, what comes into the scenario there now is the ombudsman, whoever is holding that position right now. The ombudsman, there's a great rule under the Constitution for the ombudsman to intervene in matters involving members of the public and the government. And it's years now that position has been held by a number of people, but are they really fulfilling the job or the task that that is before them in terms of holding the position and fulfilling that responsibility?
Well, you see, Tim, again, that thing you're bringing up, there's probably what you're talking there could well be boring your listeners to death. That's the risk. You and I are probably boring them to death right now. But the point is this. Alan Chasney decided to seek leave to put a matter, I'm not going to go into the details before the discuss. He was denied. He went to a number of courts and had to pay his way through. And finally, an appeal court, and I think that was a matter, I may be wrong, that was a matter involving a judge who recused himself because he said there was political interference. Remember that?
Yes.
That's another one that we don't know anything about either, which we should know, but we know nothing about either. And we just sit there and take it. Okay, you know, those little demonstrations going on, those guys are going to be tired or develop great legs. Because if you have to protest like you should, all the things that require protesting in this country, oh my God. And it's going to get to the point when people will stop protesting in a regular fashion. And I'm warning about that again. So anyway, after several court hearings or whatever, which cost him from his pocket, he now has been given permission to take his matter to seek the leave to go to a judicial inquiry, not the matter of the case he has in mind. Leave to appeal to the judicial inquiry. He now has finally gotten permission of the court, which had to reverse a previous court, to take it to the CCJ. Guess what, Tim? All the money is already paying that point. He has paid lawyers and all fees. He now has to find $7,500 to deposit before he can be heard by the CCJ. Now you're going to tell me the average St. Lucian thinks there's justice in this country? Come on. Alan Shasney can afford it, I think. I'm shaking your head at him. I mean, every damn thing. It's like somebody has a tube in our jugular vein, and some pig is sucking on that tube, bleeding it from one to the next. As soon as you bled that one dry, move to the other one. The idea is to break people down to the extent that they just lie down and become part of the pavement. We are going to give up, but humanity doesn't work like that. When we give up, we will turn to things that are unlawful. And it is a very matter to be unlawful and illegal in your behavior in this country. Another complaint again, because the chances of you getting caught are very small. So all of those temptations are being put in front of us while we are being denied our constitutional rights or being made to pay with every tooth in your mouth to have your constitutional rights accessed. So he has to pay now $7,500. So just to go to the Privy Council, to the CCJ, so that the CCJ can say yes or no that he has a right to be heard at
the High Court
before a judicial inquiry. A judicial inquiry. And whatever the judicial inquiry would find, he would still have to go to court again and start all over again, all over a public matter.
That's it, Rick?
And you run a show, and you cannot call a member, any member, you can't access any member of the Bar Association to help educate the people of St. Lucia via your show for 15 minutes to cast an opinion on this. You can't get it. It's one set of people in office periodically against the rest of the country. And I'm not putting that on any one party, because I've been here a long time. And I've been a victim. Well, not a victim. I've been attacked. I've been through my trials and tribulations with that system, and I have fought it. That's why I talk as I do. That's why you can have that clip you just played there. When I stand up for what I believe, and the record will show. So I wish, you would every now and again tell your viewers that they are the ones getting the kick in the butt every time they applaud something that's unfair, something that's unconstitutional, but the victim cannot stand up for himself. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Let's turn our attention now again to the chat room and find out what's happening there. Amanda.
Someone says in Mia Motley's voice, St. Lucians are looking at the white oppressors amongst them, but they're not seeing the black oppressors within them. Another comment, Tim, Pippi's not the one that's deciding on anything. Someone says, was he carried away and did not know what to say as usual? Another comment, someone needs to make bed sheets and sell to SLP for the hospital. Another contribution, Sarah Flood has always been a stand-up for what you believe in kinda lady for years to me. Iron Lady. Another comment, you are so right, Rick. I've been struggling to find the essence of that speech by Jadia. Another comment, Tim called Aaron Alexander for his views on campaign finance reform. Another comment, the people refuse to educate themselves and stop letting politicians brainwash them. Too many people are politically blind, red or yellow. Another comment, you are so right, Rick. Justice is not fair in St. Lucia because the politicians, the judges and the liars, sorry, I meant to say the lawyers, are all bedfellows. Another comment, PJP said justice prevailed when he attended that court case.
Okay, we have a WhatsApp message, and it is coming from a particular attorney. I'll just say that, an attorney. The findings of the special prosecutor is not worth the paper it is written on. He clearly does not understand anything about corruption. He has been in office for some time now and hasn't reported on any other case. But in record time, he's been able to respond to Chico's complaint. Corruption time? Shaking my head. We have Rihanna Isidore on the line. And it's calling from the office of the Prime Minister. Good afternoon. NewsSpin, you're on the air, sir.
Good afternoon, Tim.
Good afternoon to you.
Just quickly, I wonder, do you know how much it might have cost or it would cost to bring a case to the Privy Council in the UK? Any idea?
Well, I imagine it would cost a whole lot more than the $7,500.
I suspect so. But I want to just bring your attention to something that was mischaracterized by the former Minister for Economic Development just a moment or two ago. A couple of callers are back, I beg your pardon, right? It's concerning the Golden 80 program. It's been, bashed, beaten for all the wrong reasons. And I think maybe there's a misunderstanding on how that program works and where you can go about accessing it. So it's incorrect, false, inaccurate. You choose to claim that program doesn't work, or it's a lie, or the government is lying about it. That's wrong. That's bad. That's not true. Reason being, the Golden 80 program is only accessible at community health centers, community wellness centers. So if you or me or anyone has a 80-year-old relative and they need some sort of medical attention, and they go to the community wellness center, wherever, Blackberry or Rosalie, etc., there they will qualify for the Golden 80 package. It is not available right now. It's not available at OKEU and St. Jude.
Okay,
so I'm not sure
if you're aware, why isn't it available at those main health institutions?
Well, everything is in phases. It's incremental, and we're not at the stage yet to introduce Golden 80 at the primary healthcare institutions, like I said, OKEU and St. Jude. But the Ministry of Education would have can provide further clarification as to why or when the public can reasonably expect Golden 80 at the primary healthcare institutions. But you can appreciate with the cost of healthcare, the Golden 80 in itself costs government in excess of $2 million a year. So it's a small step in the right direction to try, at this stage, to make healthcare just a little bit more affordable for the most vulnerable people. Those are our seniors. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. Maybe the authorities, the powers that they can do, can look into maybe further clarifying how Golden 80 can be accessed. Something else I wanted to just point or remind you of, bring to your attention. I mean, yes, you featured a bunch of individuals protesting outside of the OKEU hospital. Okay, Democratic Society protesting, wonderful, no problem, never had an issue with that. But it's interesting because I think one of the individuals who were protesting, leading those protests, happens to be a former minister of government. If I'm not mistaken, called the show earlier to explain why they're protesting. I just find it interesting that individuals who sat in the highest decision-making chambers are today protesting healthcare when they, in 2020, in the height of COVID, signed off on a consultancy with a foreign entity to sort of take over OKEU at a cost, breaking news, 23 million EC dollars. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money to sort of sign off on in the heights of a pandemic when income and revenues are lower, much lower than we can expect. But that decision, and you don't have to take my word for it, but that decision to saddle Millennium Heights OKEU with $23 million during a pandemic to a foreign entity, Health City Cayman, that's their name, to run the affairs for a period of time, was detrimental because that 23 million works out to be, guess what, Tim? $1 million a month. And that was in 2020. And a portion of that 23 million, 11.5, had to go to settle debt. So, today we're demanding better quality healthcare. And of course, healthcare ought to be better. Healthcare can always be better. I know Emma always told me things can always get better. But it's just curious. It's just ironic that these kinds of decisions affected, hindered, impeded our primary healthcare institutions, and the people who are part and parcel of that decision-making process are today aggrieved, are today shocked, are today horrified at what's taking place as far as healthcare is concerned. But thankfully, within 3.5 years, within 3 years, this current Prime Minister administration didn't just sit on its hands, sit on its laurels and, scratch its heads. No. You may recall a few weeks ago, 11 million of CIP revenue was made available to deal with some of the debt that the Millennium Heights Medical Complex had accrued in the last few years, right? And of course, we just mentioned the Golden 80 package. There's the maternal healthcare package, and many other healthcare packages that are available to the public free of charge. All of those incremental steps, all of those actions, when you put them together, can make a big impact in the lives of real St. Lucians. I'm not going to sit there and tell you healthcare is perfect, and every so often I have to access services at OKEU. Nobody wants to sit there for 2, 3, 4 hours and for waiting for medical. No one wants that. I don't think any prime minister wants to govern a country where healthcare is in shambles. That makes no sense. But the previous caller employed or appealed for more analytical discourse and debate. So it's one thing to complain about the situation, but when you are responsible or you are part of the group that contributed to how bad things are now, I mean, what are we talking about? So I just wanted to just clarify that these two issues here. OKEU, OKEU, I beg your pardon, financial is where it is because of the actions of the former men and women of the previous cabinet. That's just what it is. There was a parliament sitting, if I'm not mistaken, several months ago in March, actually last year. The government had to come to Parliament to borrow money to deal with some of that Health City Cayman debt. And just this year, maybe 12 months later, more money was made available to clear another $11-15 million backlog of debt. So things are happening incrementally. It could and things are happening, and healthcare, is a top priority of the government, and that's what it is, Tim.
All right, so thank you so much for calling the broadcast. You just heard there from Communications Officer in the Office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Riani Isidore. Let me just see if I could access some information to share with you right now, just to provide some clarity, because there are a number of factors that we have to take into consideration when we are making reference to the debt of the OKEU hospital over the last several years. I suspect we will have to take a quick break, and I'll have that information to share with you in just a moment. This is the most monitored talk show in the world. It is called NewsSpin.
There is only one option when they arrive. Our services will make the dead look alive. With Bouteille and Beaufort accessibility. Remember, we have the only private cemetery. No one can match our prices from coffins to corsage. Personalized service you get when Lazarus takes charge. Quality service, no package to make your wallet bleed. Lazarus is your true friend in your time of need.
Lucilec's remote options are available to serve you every weekday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call or send a WhatsApp message to 285-6796, 285-7859, 285-3593, 285-3329, or 285-8640, or send an email to customersupport@lucilec.com for assistance. Lucilec encourages you to use the available options for doing business with us remotely.
It all started with a penny. For over 85 years, we have invested in our farmers, fishermen, people, and our country. When we were called to serve, we were here. We understand what is valuable to our people and our country. That is why we support all industries, including tourism. We are the bridge towards a brighter future and economic growth. When our people, government, and businesses called upon us, we were here. 85 years later, First National Bank St. Lucia Limited is here for you.
Christmas in this year.
Can I have this? We have an extra $400 from Flow. You can have everything you want.
More gifts with Flow. With Christmas in, win weekly prices up to $10,000 in cash. Sign up for a postpaid bundle or a broadband plan. We Christmas in with free groceries from Flow. Plus, a chance to win weekly prizes and up to $10,000 cash. Head over to your nearest Flow store or visit discoverflow.co. Flow, we Christmasing. More gifts with Flow.
This Christmas, there's a warmth that goes beyond the twinkling lights. It's the warmth of family, of sharing a meal that brings everyone closer. KFC's Festive Feast isn't just a meal, it's a moment where every bite brings a smile and every piece brings you home. So get the family a festive bucket or the festive box. KFC's Festive Feast, bringing families together, one delicious meal at a time.
Crunch the holidays however you want. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
It's the end of the year yard sale you've been waiting for at MNC Home Depot, Viewfort. This Friday, November 29th, and Saturday, November 30th, save 75% off on everything you need to transform your home this holiday season. Yes, you heard that right, 75% off. Tools, paints, housewares, and so much more. It's the perfect time to stock up, save big, and get ready for the holidays. Don't miss your chance to grab these incredible deals before the year ends. Head to MNC Home Depot Viewfort, end of the year yard sale, and make your home improvement dreams a reality at unbeatable prices. Don't miss out. Terms and conditions may apply. See in-store for more details.
Ever walked into an ice cream shop and felt overwhelmed by the flavors? Mom's eyeing vanilla, Dad set on rum and raisin, and the kids going on about cherry chocolate and pistachio? Well, this Christmas, there's one thing everyone can agree on. Still, whether you're already a proud owner or expecting one under the tree, Still is the gift that keeps on giving. Powerful, reliable, and backed by amazing after-sales service. From lawnmowers to brush cutters and blowers, Still makes your yard merry and bright all year long. Head over to Europa in Massad Grosile or call 452-0763 and give the gift of Still this holiday season. Remember, we service what we sell.
Ho, 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 ho. Merry Christmas.
La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence is revolutionizing healthcare right here in St. Lucia. No longer do you have to travel abroad for high-quality head-to-toe MRI images. Our center features the latest 1.5 Tesla MRI technology from General Electric. Operated by GE Healthcare certified technologists, our radiation-free scans provide unparalleled clarity. Our board-certified specialist radiologists ensure more accurate diagnoses. Don't take our word for it. We continue to serve many satisfied patients. And the best part? Your MRI report arrives within 24 hours, and we can send images directly to your doctor anywhere in the world. Say goodbye to long wait times and unnecessary travel expenses. Trust the Caribbean's leading medical imaging service located in Cocoville, Rodney Bay. Call La Clinique du Corps Diagnostic Center of Excellence today and take the first step towards a healthier tomorrow.
To have a strong structure, you must have a strong foundation. And at Caribbean Pastors Limited, we offer top quality aggregate materials at great prices. We supply high quality ready mix, cast in sand, and plaster in sand. We also take special requests for specific materials that you may require for your building projects. Caribbean Pastors Limited is located in Bexon behind Essential Hardware. Give us a call at 489-0074. We're open from Monday to Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Sundays, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Caribbean Pastors Limited. Quality construction, our priority.
Light up the holiday season. Excel gives you every reason. There's a special loan wrapped up just for you to make your every Christmas dream come true.
Light up your Christmas and lighten your financial burden this season with a holiday loan from Axel Finance. Plus, every loan gets you a chance to win your favorite kitchen appliance and grocery vouchers.
Light up the holiday season. Excel gives you every reason. There's a special loan wrapped up just for you to make your every Christmas dream come true.
Come in today and get your Axel Finance holiday loan.
This is the most monitored talk show in the world, and it's called NewsSpin on Power 97.9 FM. It is also on the NewsSpin Facebook page as well as the NewsSpin YouTube channel. Before we took the break, you heard from the communications officer in the office of the Prime Minister, Mr. Riani Isidore, and he attributed many of the problems we experience, financial and otherwise, at the OKEU hospital right now is because of decisions taken by the previous administration. But I want to share some information with you, which I already did just about maybe a fortnight ago. I got information that the OKEU needs approximately $7 million a month to operate. And also that from October of last year to March of this year, for approximately 6 months, the Ministry of Health did not give OKEU any finances to operate. And therefore, my information is the check presentation given to the OKEU just about a few weeks ago was for funds owed. So we don't want to hear from communications people in the office of the Prime Minister, but we want to hear from, let's say, the PS in the Ministry of Health to address that particular statement that I just made there, as well as the chairperson of the board of the Millennium Heights Medical Complex. So again, OKEU needs approximately $7 million a month to operate. And according to information I received, between October of last year and March of this year, for approximately 6 months, the Ministry of Health did not finance the operations of the health institution, and therefore the check presentation given to the OKEU recently was for funds owed. Don't know if you have any comments in the chat room. Amanda.
Yes, Tim, we have a few. Someone says, one has to ask, who does the Bar Association truly represent? Another comment, Rick, what amount of protest matches will make Lucians understand that our patrimony is on sale for peanuts? Another comment, but healthcare services are already available for free at the primary health centers. Someone says, and he's even yanking, since when? Let me drink my water and mind my business. Now, earlier, Tim, the New Spinners were saying you like drama for playing that video with Rick and Sarah, but I suspect they like more drama in the comment section.
Yeah, it's just a reminder, because I'm sure that you, Amanda, you were not aware of that exchange between Rick Wayne and Sarah Flood. We have a call in line. Good afternoon to you. This is New Spin. You're on the air. Hello.
Good afternoon. Yes, hello.
Good afternoon to you, caller.
Afternoon, Mr. Poleon. How are you?
I am okay, sir. How about you?
Doing great. I heard the government Buigo call a while ago.
So the communications office and the office of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, well, he's a government hack. That's what he is. Yeah, because I find that's real disrespectful for the man to be saying, "Oh, the minister now is protesting." I mean, I live in the U.S. I come to St. Lucia twice or 3 times every year. regardless of which government is in power, the current situation, the current struggles, the current challenges that we face as a country, the fingers need to be pointed straight at the current government, right? We say 2 health facilities. You have a 28 or 25 building place, and you were building a modern hospital. You're telling me which St. Lucian in his common sense, right-thinking St. Lucian, would not want to go into a new building and talking about... I mean, I drove down there when I came to St. Lucia, and to me, that is... That's as clear as night and day. If we want to move forward as a country, I believe we need to look at that thing realistically. Timothy, let me ask you a question. How do you think the government get money to finance the schools and the health facilities?
I mean, primarily through taxes.
Yeah, but taxes from where?
The people.
Right,
from the citizens.
From the people.
From the citizens. And now you have a 2.5% health and security levy to ensure that we are safe and also provide us health care.
Yeah, so when the Prime Minister come and does a check giving ceremony, why is that even necessary? When the hospital fall under the jurisdiction or the purview or control of the Ministry of Health, right?
Yes.
All of these things are just political stunts, in my opinion. I listened to the young brother. He sounds like a very intelligent guy. But to me, what he said there to me, it does not make much sense to me. Guy Joseph, whether it's me or anybody else, can say they're dissatisfied with the health sector and the services, and they want better. And that's the bottom line. Because I think in St. Lucia, everything that needs to be done, I think we need to change that kind of everything. You need a road done, a minister has to okay it. The health sector is in problem, the minister has to okay it. Everything has to go through the ministry. And a minister has to be involved. So what about the permanent secretary? What about those underneath him? And those underneath and those charged with all the things? Look at our legal system. I heard you talking about the lawyers. You're telling me not one lawyer can come and say, give me a quick breakdown of, let's say, the CCJ, this case. And I mean, you've been asking. I haven't seen anybody from the government come to your program. The last time I heard, what's his name? What's that? That minister called your show. That day I wanted to call you, but...
Mr. Richard Frederick?
Yeah, yeah. So since the government have been in office, let me ask you, how many ministers have willingly come to your program and say, okay, they're going to take questions?
None.
And share some light on what the ministry is doing. Because, Timothy, listen, it's easy for us to be political as St. Lucians. But for somebody who has lived in St. Lucia for all these years and now living abroad, listen to me. St. Lucia is too small for us to think that we need all of these things in order to run the country. You understand what I'm saying, Tim?
Yes, sir.
Because in the U.S., when you get paid, right, you pay federal tax. You pay local tax. And every year you have to pay in the local town where you live. They give you a tax for your vehicle. In St. Lucia, we don't have that. Okay, let me ask you, how many people in St. Lucia really do pay taxes? Do you know?
The tax, I know, but it's not a lot, you know. It clearly is not
that
a
is
lot.
what
It's not a lot.
That's what I'm telling you. So any politician and all of them want to get our country better, we need to tackle these things, because without taxes, the government makes no money. We take so many loans and we owe, and then when we take the money, what is being done? Nothing. Nothing is being done. So when I had a gentleman, I mean, I don't blame him. He's sitting in the Prime Minister's office. He has to defend the Prime Minister. But the blame that we have, the challenges we have in the health sector, it cannot be placed on one administration or one minister. They all have to take the blame for it. But in 2024 now, in November as we're speaking, the current government is responsible for everything going on.
Yes.
They have to take responsibility. The high cost of fuel, the high cost of food, insecurity. Look, we're talking about crime in the country, Timothy. How do you think the police is going to stop crime? when you have no way of identifying people, because look, somebody got shot in the square. How are you going to get DNA on that? The guy was on a motorcycle. Did you see him? What's his height? What's his complexion? How are you going to get fingerprints to do that? Huh? So when they talk about the force, I don't think the problem is with necessarily the chief of police or this one or that one. But I think we need to change the way we do things. St. Lucia need to realize we're not in 1979 anymore. We're in 2024. We need to be more, we need to embrace technology, and we need to realize that St. Lucia will not survive unless we think outside of the box. That's it. That's it. I mean, I want to go on, but I'll stop here for now. But have a good day, team.
You too, sir.
And I always keep enjoying you.
All
yeah,
right.
but I wanna.
Yes, caller. Hello.
Oh, I just wanted to big up. Yeah, hi. I wanted to big up a friend of mine called Ram Paul.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to say hi to Ram Paul for me. Yeah.
Where is
Ram
he?
Paul. His name is Mr. Dick.
From where?
Mr. Dix. He lives on the East Coast.
Okay, all right. I'm sure he's listening.
Okay.
All right. Take care, my brother. Calling from the U.S. We have another call. Good afternoon to you. This is NewsSpin. You're on the air. Hello. Hello. Good afternoon to you. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Yes. Good afternoon. Caller, turn down the volume of whatever device you are using to listen to the broadcast, and then go ahead with your contribution.
You can tell me next time.
Okay, we'll have to say goodbye to that caller. Clearly not prepared to make a contribution. 452-2979, WhatsApp calls and messages, 716-2026. In a moment, we'll be hearing from you, Amanda, with your final update. Good afternoon, you're on the air.
Bon après-midi, Tim. Bon après-midi, Amanda.
Bon après-midi.
Tim, moi-même pas ça comprendre à donner cette liste. Tim, ou vle di moi, Monsieur Isidore Kwe, nous sans couillon, ou ka vini di nous, ça Pierre Paddy, Pierre dit tout le monde qui est hier, quand je vais Universal Healthcare, après on ka, oui, Isidore ka vini démenti Pierre, et ou ka vini di nous, après Pierre menti, that c'est quoi mon là what if I ka joindre oui met avec ka joindre un service health free on ici à dans cette health center et cette polyclinique là et cette health center à mesure en chayo a fermé c'est moi do monsieur Isidore si c'est élection yo ka couiller ka espérer pour ça couper oui bon rouge là on Saint-Jude là yo pour l'élection c'est ça qui yo ka chin yo là mais si yo quoi yo ka ouvert Saint-Jude avec couper oui bon rouge là qualité spécialiste dans l'hôpital ça et avant nous équipement nous pas foutre yo encore en pause ça yo ka demander pardon ouais ça nous fait clinique Anthony aussi nous fait play nous fait essayer en chose c'est pieds bois saltibis et bien c'est ça nous ka faire pour ça et puis c'est bon mais là nous est-ce que côté healthcare nous pas qu'à jouer bon healthcare because nous have paid $75,000 et comment on va pour ça là nous pas qu'à payer $75,000 ça okay team goodbye team.
All right, caller, thank you so much. What's happening in the chat room, Amanda?
Tim, a few comments from earlier. Someone says, but healthcare at our community health center has been minimal or for some instances free. So what is he talking about? So if that's the case, packages shouldn't be offered. It makes no sense. Another comment, they are protesting because it is significantly worse now than it used to be. Look at how many doctors have left. I see nothing wrong with an external entity managing OKEU because we clearly cannot do it ourselves. Someone says, Tim, this caller from the PM office is protecting his paycheck. Nonsense he's talking about. We St. Lucians deserve better healthcare, better roads, better education system for the young people, and the SLP government needs to take out the 2.5% levy of St. Lucians backs immediately. Another comment, look, someone saying the last time Ari was sounding so sad was when he made that 911 call. Another comment, incrementally 2.5% is not incremental. Another contribution, how team not calling Crick and Lazarus, only them, the lawyers, the politicians, and Massey making money. Someone replied to this saying, so true, Rumbali and Lazarus, that running things now. That's it for now.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Our final update regarding your comments, your behavior in the chat room. Our NewsSpin question of the day. What say you to a fixed date for general elections? What say you regarding a fixed date for general elections in St. Lucia? And finally, our NewsSpin news of the day. The NewsSpin news of the day reads, Amazon workers in more than 20 countries set to protest during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, organizers say. Amazon workers in more than 20 countries set to protest, and that is during Black Friday and Cyber Monday, organizers say. That's the broadcast. Thank you so much for watching and listening to another edition of the world's most monitored talk show. My name is Timothy Poleon. Continue to enjoy your Wednesday. Join me this evening, 7 o'clock, for the DBS News World on DBS Television, and 8:30, News Maker Live. Goodbye.